What is going on, guys? I am Ghosty Russ, and today we're going to be talking about how Blumhouse may have dropped the ball when it comes to the Halloween franchise. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking, the Blumhouse trilogy, which includes Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, overall, they were pretty good movies. However, one of those movies, in my opinion, completely derailed the whole situation.
I don't like where this is going.
All of the steam that had built up from 2018 and Halloween Kills was completely lost when it came to Halloween Ends. Here's just my opinion on where Blumhouse really went wrong. So I think if we're talking Halloween 2018 as a direct sequel to the 1978 film, I think it works perfectly. We catch up with Laurie and Michael 40 years later, and we kind of see how the events that happened in 1978 still play a part in Laurie's life, and how seemingly they play no part in Michael's life. We also see how this transfers over to members of Laurie's family, and how the events that traumatized her in 1978 honestly traumatized her entire family generations after. Of course, we see Michael, and he is a prisoner at this institution, and his care was taken over by Dr. Sartain, and Dr. Sartain ends up being a complete fucking asshole who just wants them to have that final showdown, but in the end gets his comeuppance.
Michael.
2018, honestly, it came through, it hit really hard, and like I said, as a direct sequel to the 1978 film, I think it worked really well, and it was something that was really refreshing and needed in the horror community, specifically in the Halloween franchise, since the last Halloween movie we officially got was Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And if you saw my last video, then you know my feelings on that movie. If you haven't though, make sure to go check it out. The ending to Halloween 2018 I thought was very reminiscent of the 1978 film and left it very open-ended. And that is where we begin Halloween Kills. We pick up in Halloween Kills where Halloween 2018 ended off. Obviously very reminiscent of the original Halloween 2 from 1981. And overall, this movie was okay. I think it wasn't as good as 2018, but it had some really cool moments. It had really cool flashback scenes with a great Dr. Loomis stand-in. Michael was an absolute fucking beast in this movie. It honestly looked like Michael had spent some time watching John Wick in the TV room while he was locked up. But then we get to the whole Evil Dies Tonight bullshit, and that's really kind of the cringy part of this whole thing. What got me was Michael was institutionalized. Michael was in the system, therefore Michael had a mugshot. There were pictures of Michael that probably should have been updated every year. At least that's what I think an institution like that would do, is every year update a photo, or at least every couple years update the photo of each inmate, patient, whatever it may be. But we do see Michael's mugshot being blasted on the news. So when they chase down the Danny DeVito penguin looking motherfucker and make him pretty much freak out and kill himself, it honestly made no sense to me, because it just showed kind of the downfalls of mob mentality when nobody really pays attention to the facts of what's happening. But the whole town kind of going after Michael, I did think was a very interesting turn of events. I feel like this is not how it would go. I feel like there would definitely be people looking for Michael and ready to take on Michael in big groups in a pack mentality. But I don't think that it would involve an entire mob chasing down somebody who clearly doesn't match the description or look of the mugshot of Michael Myers. The only other scene that really kind of irked me in Halloween Kills was whenever the big group kind of gets their chance to kill Michael and they beat the shit out of him. I will give them that. I think in that situation, the fact that they didn't put a bullet in Michael's head was a little dumb on their part. I get that you beat him half to death and you might think that you're good, but as soon as I see him try to get up, I'm going to be right back on him. At least that's the way I look at it. So the fact that Michael gets up and just kind of one by one kills these guys made no sense. It's like they were just kind of lining up to get killed by Michael Myers. Now, of course, I'm not going into like the big plot points of these movies. I'm just kind of giving a quick rundown of what I like and don't like about the movies. And honestly, Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills were very solid entries in the Halloween franchise. I think that even though the movies kind of have some things that are maybe not what I like completely, I think that they are great movies and fit the franchise fairly well. And I mean, how good is my opinion really? I think that the Thorn trilogy is probably the best continuity that you could watch the Halloween franchise, but I think the Blumhouse trilogy was a good runner-up. And I say was because I think if they would have kept the momentum that they had going with 2018 and Kills, I would definitely say it was my second favorite continuity in the Halloween franchise. However, then we got Halloween Ends.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And I kind of get where, the idea may have come along, kind of comparing it to Halloween 3, because each movie was kind of adjacent to the original two movies. 2018 was similar to the 1978 film, and Halloween Kills was very similar to Halloween 2. However, I don't think picking Halloween 3 Season of the Witch for inspiration was good when you had a lot of steam with the first two entries in this trilogy. So of course we meet Corey in the opening scene. Honestly has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's very confusing. Then we find out that Michael Myers is a homeless man who has been killing people in the sewer Pennywise style. Still wearing his mask. Don't know how he's doing a whole lot. But he kind of looks like he was cummed on by a mummy. And who knows? Michael might have been getting into some sewer orgies. We have no fucking clue. Corey and Michael have an interaction, and then their relationship blossoms, as does Corey and Laurie's granddaughter. And essentially Michael takes him under his wing at one point. And I think my favorite thing that came out of this movie was the meme, Michael riding on the back of Corey's motorcycle. And honestly, I don't know any other way that this would have happened, because everything looked way too coordinated to be just Michael happening to find out where Corey was going or showing up at the same place by chance. Overall, I think that it was a piss poor attempt to establish a new character, and I think that it wasted a lot of valuable time in the movie, especially because there's no real payoff to introducing Corey besides to waste time. We do finally get to see Laurie and Michael have a true final standoff. I think this is also another weak part of the movie. The fact that Michael does get killed and then they go so far as to throw him in an actual grinder and turn him into ground beef.
You mess with Kurt and you go into the grinder.
Okay, now this grinder of yours, is it a real grinder or is it some kind of a metaphor?
In theory, I guess it makes sense that they would want to make sure that Michael is dead. But I think the fact that we see them throw his body into a grinder and we know for sure that there is no more Michael kind of kills the whole vibe. And then on top of that, Michael didn't get a lot of screen time in this. And I know that the argument is that in the original film, Michael didn't have a ton of screen time. However, the screen time wasn't being taken up building a different character. The screen time was building the suspense of Michael. So all the times that Michael wasn't on screen in the original film, the suspense was building towards his screen time. Whereas this, we have this whole Corey subplot that Corey is kind of a copycat killer who is kind of under the tutelage of Michael. And when he gets killed, there's no payoff whatsoever. It's just a really dumb decision and a really piss poor character development. I think that it's something that if Corey was a character in the 2018 film and carried through kills and into ends and became a copycat killer, I think it could have been more successful. But honestly, ends was just garbage. They had so much steam and they threw it all away on a dumb character and a dumb story, and they killed the whole vibe of the movie by showing too much of Michael's death. But all in all, I think that that's where Blumhouse really dropped the ball. They had a good thing going and they got a little too experimental with it. It just feels like Michael is kind of shoehorned into this. Just makes everything worse. If you guys are watching, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Tell me what your thoughts are on the entire trilogy. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. I'm Ghosty Russ. I'll see you guys next time.